Listen, I've had to learn some lessons the hard way. I grew up with a single mom, but I figured some things out that made me a multi-millionaire. And I've made tens of millions. Matter of fact, I've made hundreds of millions. I made my first $1 million in a day when I was 19. I ended up building and selling 2 companies for $128 million. Because of this, I've had to figure some things out on my own. Now get this, life has no manuals. No one tells you this is exactly how to go through life. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 13 lessons for teenagers that I wish I knew earlier, or at least someone told me. Now I'm going to look at my phone. Now the first thing is what you believe will shape your life. So listen, whether you believe you will be successful or you don't believe you'll be successful, you're right. What you believe in will shape how far you go in life. Right from when I was a lot younger, I've always had the belief that I'm going to be successful. And now, I wasn't even born into wealth. I was not born into a family where I could say, hey, this is what the idea of success looks like. But I knew I didn't want the life that they had. I knew I didn't want to live like my dad. I didn't want to live like my mom, because they were constantly struggling from hand to mouth, living paycheck to paycheck. The moment I believed that I was going to be successful, the universe started showing me ways through which I can become successful. I'll give you an instance. I have a big foot. I wear size 47, which is US size 13.5. And as a result of that, it was always hard to find my shoe size. But what would I do? I decided to go learn how to make shoes. And by learning how to make shoes, I was able to not just figure out how to solve my own problem, but as a result of that, other people were interested in me making shoes for them. So this was the first way I was able to make some money for myself. And I then became independent. I no longer had to wait on how much my parents give me. I no longer have to wait on salaries, right? Because I knew I never wanted my finances to be dictated by anybody in this world. Now, I want you to understand that some people make excuses and some people take action, but you can't have both. You can either make excuses or you can make money, and you need to understand this. Majority of people who coast through life approach life as a victim. They don't approach life believing that they can get on the other side of life. But I knew that being a shoemaker, being a cobbler was not going to be the identity that I was tied to. I knew there was something more that I was made for. Even though I didn't have the blueprint as at then, I knew definitely I was going to figure it out. So I'm telling you today that you have to believe first for you to even accomplish anything. And there are 13 lessons that I'm sharing with you in this video. Now get this, it is 3 phases: be, do, have. You need to first be the person for you to even get the thing. You need to do the things that will make you have the thing. As you can see, like, you first have to be a multi-millionaire in your mind. Only when you become a multi-millionaire in your mind, you now start exhibiting characteristics or behaviors of that person. That's when you start doing. And when you do, you are guaranteed to get or have. So it is very, very important that you have a strong belief. Now, the second thing is you can be solo to make $1 million, but you need a network to make $10 to $100 million. Now, a lot of people wonder, how do I even make their first $1 million? But the truth is, to an extent, figure it out by yourself, by, roughing through things, maybe a sheer bit of luck. But wealth will never be built in isolation. And as someone who was a lone wolf for majority of his journey, I never believed in networking with no one. I never believed in trying to party. I never believed in going out and doing all these other things that youngsters or teenagers did. Matter of fact, my younger sister used to say I was boring. She used to say she wouldn't date a guy like me. But what I want you to understand is you can decide that, hey, you know what? I want to spend this couple of years on myself. I don't want to, socialize. I don't want to interact with every other person. But that can only make you rich. You will not get wealthy by not interacting with other people. And my mentor told me something. It says, money can only get you so far. but handshakes and relationships will get you into rooms that your money won't get you into. And I was talking to one of my VIP clients who flew into Dubai, because people pay me $25,000 to $100,000 to fly into Dubai and consult me to build their brands, build, scale, and sell their e-commerce brands, right? And we had a conversation. Just one conversation that we had is going to save me at least 3 years of errors and also help me navigate the next phase of life that I am about to embark on. Now get this, he is even paying me, but I'm also still learning from him, right? So it is not possible for you to get to 8 to 9 figures without building relationships. So yes, now is the time as a teenager to dial in on yourself. I started when I was 14, right? I started learning about business when I was 14. I built my first business when I was 15. I made my first $1 million in a day when I was 19. At 21, I sold 2 companies for $128 million. Now I'm building Phoenix watches to the $100 million mark. So there's something I've learned, and that is why I'm sharing this with you. You need to understand that at some point in life, you have to start interacting with people who are either way ahead of you or are on the same pace as you, but they are as driven and focused on the next phase of life. Now, which leads to the third thing that I'm going to explain to you. You need to prioritize short-term pain and long-term gain instead of short-term gain and long-term pain. And this is something that most teenagers never understand. They want to party, they want to do drugs, they want to smoke, because people believe, oh yeah, now I'm young. But the truth is, your teenage years will set up your 20s, will set up your 30s, will set up your 40s. A lot of people right now are playing catch up. Why? Because they've wasted the most significant parts of their life. I used to read a lot of books, and now thanks to my dad, I give him props for that. When I was 8 years old, when I was 7 years old, my dad would buy me books and be like, read these books before I come back from work. And if you can finish reading these books, I will buy you this and this. And that would make me spend more time at school reading instead of playing with my peers. So that gave me an advantage above most people because I dialed in my focus. So if you know you want to be someone like me who can fly choppers to wherever you want to go, or drive supercars whenever you want to, or live in amazing penthouses and all of that, or even go to the gun range during the week while other people are at work, you need to make the sacrifices now. You need to put in the work now. While other people call you boring, while other people say you're no fun, tell them, yes, I'm okay with having no fun now so I can have maximum fun when I'm in my 20s, when I'm in my 30s, when I'm in my 40s. I, at 26, am worth $346 million. And by the end of this year, my net worth should have bumped up to at least $450 to $500 million, and I am just 26 years old. How am I able to accomplish that? Because I endured short-term pain for long-term pleasure. Now I can do whatever I want because I've made the sacrifice. Well, you can, on the other hand, decide to not make the sacrifices, and then when you're in your 20s, you'd have to deal with all the problems, right? Some people die because they do drugs and they overdose on it. Some people die because they have the wrong company. But if you want to go farther in life, you have to be okay with short-term pain for long-term gain. Which leads me to the next thing that is very, very important that you must know as a teenager. The fourth thing is, don't be moved by people's flattery so their criticism won't hurt you. Listen, if you are the kind of person to allow what people say move you, you will be a servant and a slave to their emotions for the rest of your life. I became okay with people not liking me. And I read a book, The Courage to be Disliked by Ichiro Kishimi, and that changed my life completely, because the moment you do not care whether people like you or whether people praise you, you have attained the highest level of individual achievement. So don't be fazed by what people say. And that leads to the next thing. The best investment you can make is in yourself. The most successful people in this world understand that, yes, you can invest in stocks, you can invest in crypto, you can invest in bonds, you can invest in real estate, but the best investment that will give you the maximum ROI is yourself. And I made a video when I was 15 years old that I'm going to be the best in the world at what I do, and I was willing to make every commitment to myself and fulfill it. And that is why I'm successful now in my mid-20s. Which leads to the next point. See, no one has it all figured out, so keep going. And you might look at me and think, oh yeah, he lives the best life, he drives the best cars, he does whatever he wants when he wants, and think I've achieved everything. But the truth is no. I haven't accomplished everything, and I don't even know most of what I'm doing half the time. But the best part is, if you keep going, you figure it out. It is very, very important that you understand that. I also want you to know that your mind will be your worst enemy or your best friend. It depends on what you feed it. If you're the kind of person to feed your mind blogs, gossips, surround yourself with people who have no clear-cut ambition for their lives, you will end up nowhere. But if you feed your mind books, listen to podcasts, surround yourself with people who are accomplished, then you will get to be successful. There is no cheat code to life other than that. Your mind is the best weapon in your arsenal. And this might sound controversial, but it's the truth, and I wish I learned that a lot faster in my teenage years. And that is, date intelligently. What matters is the quality of people, not the quantity. Now, some gurus tell you that, yeah, as a guy, smash as many girls as possible. What they don't tell you is how that dissipates your energy. Date a girl who has the right qualities, someone who is invested in her personal development, someone who is ready to go to the next level, someone who can help you accomplish your vision. Dating multiple women, that shit will leave you empty. It's not for the 1%. And those who end up doing it, you see it, they commit suicide, they overdose on drugs because it leaves them feeling empty. It's not about the quantity of women that you are with, or the men that you're with, for the women who are listening to this, but the quality of the people that you're with. If you find one solid girl who vibes with you, understands your vision, understands your mission, and will help you get there, be with her. The 9th point is you need to plan in decades, but think in now. When I was 15, I wrote a letter to 25-year-old version of me, and when I read that letter, I wept when I received it. You know why? Because everything I wrote that I will become, I became more. But the main reason that happened is because even though I was planning in decades, I was thinking in now. I make plans ahead of time. If you do not plan, you plan to fail. The people who succeed in life are those who wake up every day with a plan on how to execute on that vision that future version of themselves will thank them for. If you do not want to be fat next year or in 10 years, stop stuffing your face with food that will inflame you. No one gets fat by just waking up one day. No, it is because of actions that they've taken over a period of time that makes them that way. And it's the same way. If you want to be successful, it takes just 1% iteration. If they give you 1 penny today, but they tell you this money will keep doubling every single day, you know what would happen? Within a year, you would have over $100 million. And that's the power of compounding. So every action you take right now will compound over time. So think in decades, but act in the now. The 11th thing that I want you to understand is you need to cut out the distractions. If you are constantly wavering your focus in between multiple things, you will get nowhere. Dropshipping makes money. Building a brand makes money. Affiliate marketing makes money. Becoming a video editor makes money. Everything makes money. But the only reason people are unsuccessful is they are trying to do a bit of this, a bit of this, a bit of that. Wealth is built from laser focus, and wealth is grown and multiplied from diversified assets. So you've been lied to when they tell you you need to build multiple income streams. You don't need multiple income streams when you don't even have one stream flowing. So cut out the distractions. Stop listening to the fluff masters and just focus on one thing and one thing. I built wealth by focusing on e-commerce. I'm currently documenting how I'm taking this brand to $100 million. That is all I've known all my life. And even when it comes to diversifying my portfolio, I still bet on brands who have made $3 million and above, and I take them to $50 million a year. So go all in on one thing. You're young. You have all the time in the world. Now, treat everyone like they are kings and queens. See, listen, I don't know what is wrong with this generation. You need to understand that respect is reciprocal. If you treat the janitor the same way you treat the CEO, you'll go farther in life. Because one thing you don't understand is this. Sometimes it's not how much money you have. It's who you know and who knows you. Because you can say, yeah, you know Jay-Z, but does Jay-Z know you? But you know the craziest part? Jay-Z may not know you, but if his personal trainer knows you, his personal trainer can get you access to Jay-Z. And that's what most people don't think about. And that's just an example. So it's not about trying to make the connections with the person at the top, but you could know one person who knows one person who knows one person who can get you into the door. So treat everyone like kings and queens and you go farther in life. And another thing, you have to learn skill sets that are highly in demand. You want to be in a room, but you can't physically be there. The only way you can get into that room is for your name to be mentioned in that room. So become undeniable, be great at what it is you do to the point that even if you're not in rooms, people are constantly still talking about you. Your name will make ways for you. So build your name and protect your name. It goes a long way. And so, ladies and gentlemen, these are 13 lessons that I wish I knew when I was starting out. Some of them I've had to learn by myself, some I've had to learn through mentors, and some life has had to punch me in the guts for me to learn. At the end of the day, who you will become in the future is made from the decisions you make now. Now, I want you to check out this video on my journey from $42 to 250 million, and also watch this playlist where I share with you how you can get rich while young. I'll see you in the next video.